I am thankful what God is doing. I love him with my life, and I know that he's going to take care of me. Amen. Y'all stay focused. Y'all stay firm. I'm saving this video, and make sure y'all share it. Share it. Make this thing go. Share it, share it, share it. Brandon Belmonte is the con man, and it's hashtag surviving Brandon Belmonte. Surviving Brandon Belmonte. I will be posting the articles. He was just arrested last Friday. And if you are a victim, of VIP rent.
Well, listen, welcome to the channel, you guys. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, bang that notification bell. We got to get into the Bishop and Brandon Belmonte, honey. He is definitely spilling all of the beans when it comes to Brandon Belmonte and him being allegedly indicted. So you guys, let's watch this together. We're going to be in the comments thinking he interviewed one of the victims. So we're going to definitely get into it, and y'all let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Again, if you'd like to bless the channel, you can. It'll be in the comment section, and please make sure you hit that like button.
How are you doing? This is the Bishop, and I greet you guys with the love of Jesus Christ. Y'all come on and tune in. Come on and tune in. I did not want to let this opportunity go by. I have one of the victims. Coming on, y'all. What's going on? Y'all share this message. Y'all share this message. Share this message. I know that this was like at a drop of a dime, and I was supposed to promote it. But I said, you know what? Let me just wait. But I have one of the victims of Brandon Belmonte, y'all. I told you he was a con artist. I told you he set the bishop up, and nobody didn't want to believe me. I was ridiculed. Yes, I still have federal charges. However, I'm not talking about any of that. What I'm here to expose is the real con man. I believe that this was a racial profiling, a successful African-American preacher, and this white man set me up. And now it's time. He was arrested on Friday. And now it's time for you guys to really see who this person is. You guys are about to see who this person is. I have multiple victims where Brandon Belmonte allegedly have stolen millions of dollars. And I'm going to put you on with a young lady. All of these victims are going to be anonymous right now because they're very fearful. I've been in contact with them for the last 4 or 5 months, and it's multiple victims that this Brandon Belmonte. I've been getting inboxes with more victims. I've been getting, man, let me tell you something. It's been untold victims, y'all. So I need y'all to tag, and tag. Tag, and tag. Tag. All right. Listen. Let me give her a call. I almost got thrown off, y'all. Let me give her a call. And you got one more time, Kevin, and then you're getting blocked for good. All right, because I'm starting to get tired of you. All right, y'all. There's some followers and stuff like that. Bishop King. All right. All right, y'all. So I'm going to call. We're going to get this right in the way. We're going to get this right in the way. We're going to get this right in the way. I want to get this victim on. I want to get this victim on. And I want to get this victim on. Hold on one second. Are y'all ready? I need y'all to share. Y'all know this was last minute. I just posted this in 10 minutes. I know we have a bunch more followers if I have more time, but I want to get this in the way, y'all. I want to get this in the way. I want to get this in the way. I want to get this in the way. Y'all ready? Let me get her on. Hey, hold on. Hey. Hold on 1 second. I got everybody on right now, and they're tagging right now. Hold on 1 second. Perfect. Hold on 1 second. They're tagging. Because, you know, hold on. They're tagging. 1 second. All right, y'all tag. I have one of the victims. This is a young lady that reached out to me, and she just was so distraught. Like I said, I'm going to keep all of the victims confidential, their names confidential for their safety, and just you know, to make sure that they are secure. And this is the first of many that I'm going to be doing interviews with, because this Brandon Belmonte is a con man, and he was arrested by the feds, federal FBI on this past Friday, but it does not have all of the charges. And this is a young lady that I want her to go through her story so you guys can see the businessman that the media was talking about. They called him the businessman. They called him a businessman, and they don't even realize that he's a con man. All right. So we're going to just call this person victim one. We're going to call him victim one of Brandon Belmonte. And we're calling this series Surviving Brandon Belmonte. Surviving Brandon Belmonte. He is a wicked con man. So good to have you on the Bishop Show. How you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Let me turn you up. Can y'all hear her good? All right, I want to make sure y'all hear her good. Amen. And we're gonna get this thing going. Can y'all hear her good? All right, they say they can hear you. So listen, go ahead, man. Tell us about your experience with Brandon Belmonte.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but basically it started because we had a car, a BMW i8 that we wanted to sell, and one of our friends was apparently doing business with a guy named Jake. He did not use his real name. He had fake paperwork, and his name was apparently Jake Belmonte. And so we drew up, sale paper contracts, and essentially he had a dealership called Empire Luxury Car Rentals, and then he ended up changing the name to VIP NYC. He's changed his page multiple times, essentially. But at the time, it was Empire. So we met him through a mutual friend.
Let me just stop you right there. So VIP, if y'all look at the indictment, that's the company that he was just indicted on. So that you guys understand, it was Empire first, as what the victim says, and now he changed it to VIP, and that's what he's been indicted on. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, he's had to change it from Empire because we will go back to the background in a little bit, but his entire background with Empire, if you look up Empire, started with liquor stores, and he's used that name to con people for over a decade, which I found out later. But at the time, my understanding was his name was Jake Belmonte. He owned a legitimate luxury rental car business, and the deal was essentially to do the car in payments while he rented it and while he had insurance, and he gave us a deposit and paid for the car to be transferred. So we sent the car. I did not send the title, obviously, until the car was paid off. And he said, he gave us fake proof, I guess, of insurance. So the car was with him. Essentially, the car got totaled right away. It turns out he was using a third party to rent out cars, did not have insurance in the car. It was wrecked, and it was totaled completely.
Okay, so hold right there. So just so let y'all know, if you read the indictment, he was indicted for straw buyers. Okay, and this is what he did to this young lady. He bamboozled her, and this is what she's talking about. She's a very sophisticated and successful young lady. She's not no person on the side of the street. Like, I don't want to get into her business, but she's very successful. And this is what he was indicted for. And that's why we know that more charges will be charged against him. And this is what he does. So go ahead, finish taking your time. Go ahead.
Of course. So another thing is he uses lawyers all the time. So, I mean, multiple lawyers. I'm not sure how some of them have stuck around with him, because there's been a list of lawyers that have not been paid by this man, but he does use them to pretend to be legitimate and draw up contracts to say he's going to pay you back, but he never will. But anyway, so the car was wrecked. He would not tell us where the car was, refused to tell us where the car was. I called the police in New York, and they said it was a civil matter, even though I said at some point, even if you rent a car from Avis, if you don't bring it back, it's a stolen vehicle, and they refused to help us. So we had no idea where the car was for months, and finally I get a notice of sale of the vehicle. They were trying to sell my car for storage fees in New York. That was the first I'd heard of where the car was at that point. And in the meantime, by the way, between the point of the car having been wrecked and figuring out where the car was, he sent multiple verifications of wires, multiple tracking numbers of checks that were supposed to come through, and all of them were fake and fraudulent.
Oh, so say that one more time. Say that one more time so they can hear clearly.
I said that he kept sending multiple confirmations of wires and tracking numbers of checks he was sending, but they were all fake. All of the wires were fraudulent. And of course, in the meantime, he kept buying, there was always a sob story with Brandon. This person is happening with this. My wife cheated on me and has a baby with someone else. My mom is sick. My dad is sick. And it turns out mom and dad apparently were in on the entire deal. At least dad was. I think dad has since passed on, but basically, in between all that as well, I found out his real name because we paid someone that works for him to give us his ID. Because at that point, we were wary about who this guy was, even though he had fake paperwork. So it turns out his name was Brandon Belmonte. A quick Google search immediately popped up that he has a string of fraudulent activities spanning well over a decade. So I started getting in touch with other victims, and I went to the FBI, made a report. So
how long ago was that you started? Your first time you started making FBI reports on him?
2019. So I made reports. I found other people who had also made reports. So this is, like I said, this has been an ongoing fiasco. He's been doing this for well over a decade. So I finally found out who he was. I started kind of panicking, messaged the FBI. We finally had to hire a lawyer in New York to try to get the car out because we never authorized the car to be in a body shop. I never was there. They lied to the police that the owner of the vehicle allowed the car to be towed. The police never contacted me as the registered. My name was on the title. I was never contacted by the police either that the car was in a car accident. I found out later because a lawsuit came my way from the car accident. But the cops basically let them take the car from the car scene without notifying me. And they lied and said the owner authorized it. So I had to get a lawyer involved to get the car back out. From my understanding, now this part I can't confirm or deny, but from my understanding, Brandon's had dealings with body shops for years. I've heard it from other victims. And so essentially it's like another con where he will, partner up with a body shop to be able to get them money, and then they split it. So they wanted, I think, like $64,000, something like that, for the car to be stored there. So we had a process server. The guy pulled a gun on my process server. It was a whole fiasco. So finally, we did get the car back out. Unfortunately, it was during COVID, so my court date got pushed back like 8 months. So we've been paying on this car for years. So the car's still wrecked. The car useless.
Are you still paying on the car?
Yes. Insurance wouldn't cover it because of the sale of the car. So Brandon, once again, at one point he did pay us some money because I guess there was an Instagram account that was started that was calling him out for being a fraudulent person. So he started paying back a little bit to a couple of victims, and then once again he went missing. And I finally saw the article where someone sent me anonymously, actually, an article where he was apparently the informant on your case. And of course, I was enraged immediately because he always says he has the FBI in his back pocket, that he has all of these, high up contacts, and that he knows important people. And that's why basically he can get away with what he gets away with. So when I saw he was an informant, I was enraged. I've heard many times that he's bragged about this. There's actually a video at one point that he posted bragging that he had posted or put recordings in some of his rental cars to basically turn people over. So like I said, I was enraged because I'm like, how is a guy that's been scamming people for over a decade an informant for the FBI? So I reached out to you, obviously, because I had been trying to get someone to listen to me and like the 15 other people that I speak with on a daily basis, trying to get some justice, because Brandon needs to be stopped. That man has been doing this for too long. He's hiding his money. He's still doing, as he was doing your informant stuff, he was still scamming people actively. So I spoke to someone that he sold the car to. They wired him the deposit, and he never sent the car. The police did nothing.
So talk about that now, because I don't want to have you on too long because we're going to continue to do this. But I just wanted the people to know. But just talk about some of the victims and exactly what they did, because we all been on the phone with a ton of victims, and I know he scammed somebody for liquor stores.
That was his first scam, was the liquor stores. Those were the Empire liquor stores. He would drop contracts, say that he had backers, and he would take their money and then basically leave. There's one guy he basically put everything on, and the poor guy had to file for bankruptcy. He also started a website at one point where people never got their wine that they were ordering. So that was like the beginning of it all. I was not involved in that part. That's just what I read. But there is, if you Google Brandon Belmonte, you will find the thread. And of course, there's somebody, which I'm 99% sure is Brandon, who said that they've been doing business with them since 2016. It's been great, but I'm sure that's a lie, because I don't know one person that's done business with Brandon that hasn't been in trouble later.
Hold on one second. So just to give you an update, this is a victim of Brandon Belmonte. Brandon Belmonte is the con man that set Bishop up. You guys know that I've been screaming my innocence, and this is the con man that created this narrative to set me up to be arrested. And everybody ridiculed me and everybody talked bad about me, and now Brandon Belmonte was just arrested by the feds for scamming and scheming and conning people, and now all of his victims are going to start to come out. I've spoken to at least 7 now?
At least
7 victims, and the number has arisen over, I believe, $1 to $2 million of scams and conning from Brandon Belmonte. And my thing is, I'm going to give them my platform, because this con man have turned my life upside down. He's turned my life upside down, and he's allowed the media and the world to believe that he was a businessman, and he's not a businessman. And I don't want no inboxes talking about let this be handled in court. I'm just talking about a con man. I'm talking about a con man that have destroyed my life.
Well, let's also say how let this be handled in court, but we tried going to the prosecutors. So let's, we can't say let's be handled in court when it's still being ignored.
And that's what, and they called me as pretty much the last hurrah. And they saying, Bishop, we've been ignored. We've been filing paperwork, filing police reports, calling prosecutors, and nobody didn't want to hear them until he messed with Bishop. And now things are really hitting the fan. And, now we're going to really see who this con man is, Brandon Belmonte, all you have to do is Google him. I've been getting so many inboxes from his victims, right? And I want you to still inbox me, because we're going to put you right to who you need to talk to, because of, you know, what he has done to me, he's been doing to them for years. I never knew the guy at all. I didn't know him. You know, I was just met him through a friend, associate of mine, not even a friend, associate of mine. And boom, this is what he started to do to me. And like I said, I'd rather lose money than have charges against me. But my lawyers are handling it, and they're doing what they need to do. But what I want you to do, victim one, that's what I'm going to call her, is just let us know about what he did to a few of the victims, because this young lady right here has been like really orchestrating and pulling all of the victims together. And I met her first, and then she connected me with a lot of different victims, so she knows their stories up and down, you know. So let's talk about the victim 2 from Florida, where Brandon sold him a Urus, took 120,000 from him, and he never got the car. Let's talk about that.
So from that story, what I've gathered from it is that he sold them a Urus that was apparently at a dealership. He called and verified the car was there. And he sold him essentially a car that did not exist. And he wired him the deposit money, never sent a car, never sent anything, and refused to send the money back. He's also received checks that, of course, bounced, and wires that didn't exist. So he's been doing this whole wire fraud for, like I said, decades. There was another victim that I spoke with who rented a car from him and then had the car towed as he was renting the car, because the car did not belong to Brandon. It belonged to a third party that was not supposed to be rented out. So the man paid, I don't know how, like I want to say like $80,000, or he bought the car, it might have been. I'm pretty sure he bought it. It was like 80 grand, and he literally had the car taken from him because it did not belong to Brandon.
And also talk about, and so that was $120,000 that he took from an innocent person and sold him a car that he never owned. Let's talk about the person from out of Queens, New York, that Brandon Belmonte rented a Urus and sold it to the person in Queens for $85,000. And
that's what it was, yeah.
It was $85,000, and and the rental people came back and snatched the car, right?
Yes.
Right. And then what about the other one you told me about? It's so many, but what about the one you told me about where the people rented the car and he called the police on him because he was on parole?
Their probation officer,
yeah, saying
that they had, because he knew the guy was on probation, he called the probation officer saying that they had a gun in his house because he was a felony probation, in order to essentially avoid paying this guy back.
Right. So there are so many more stories that are going to be coming out, and I did not want. I'm going to let you guys know the truth is going to come out about this man. He's a con man, and I just wanted this first victim to come on. I did not want to keep her long, because to be a victim with something is very difficult and very hard, and people use what happened to you for their own gain. And we have been talking. We met back in March, was it, this year?
Yeah, it's been a couple months. After I reached out to the New Yorker, when they put him as a businessman, I reached out to the New Yorker and let them know that this guy was a con artist and that they are actually like hurting future victims, because he's trying to legitimize himself as a businessman by using the media. And they completely ignored it. Like, did not want to change their story. They completely ignored the fact that this guy was a con man.
Well, my thing is this, me and the victims are going to continuously work together. Like I told you guys, I didn't notice this guy. He was introduced to me, and my life got flipped upside down. My life got flipped upside down, and it's never the same. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the victims my platform, so therefore they can show the world who this guy Brandon Belmonte is. So he was charged on Friday with, I think, 2 or 3 charges. However, none of those charges have anything to do with all of the victims that I know. There is also another young man, that lives in where you call it? He lives in upstate New York, and he is an Orthodox Jew. And that's
another thing. He got into that community and scammed multiple of them.
Yeah.
After gaining their trust.
Yeah, he got into the Orthodox Jewish community and he scammed them. I've already spoke to 3 Jewish brothers. One, he stole $475,000 allegedly, as per what they told me. I believe it. $475,000 for one person, and and I think he took 16 cars from them. And another Jewish guy over $200,000, and he took 8 cars from them. I just spoke to another person where he stole $875,000 from. And they're all calling me. I'm just letting you guys know they're all calling me. They're all inboxing me because they never had a voice. And once they saw what Brandon Belmonte has done to me, and everybody's calling him a businessman, they was like, what? And that's how me and this young lady met. She said, what? Businessman? I mean, when she got in contact with me, she was so furious. She was so furious. And she just was like, how are they calling him a businessman and he's the con artist? And we see exactly what he done to you because he's done it to us. So you're going to see with this entire week a plethora of victims that will be coming out, and I am giving them my platform. I'm not going to put them on Instagram. I'm not going to put them on Facebook. It's going to be just like this, a telephone call. So therefore, their identity will be protected, and their face will be protected. But what I want you guys to understand is that this man who set Bishop Whitehead up, Brandon Belmonte, who's just been arrested on Friday for federal charges, is a con man, and I want my life back, you know. And there's another gentleman that is partially a victim as well, because Brandon Belmonte was trying to get him, but he was on to him because he knew something wasn't right. You know, he knew something wasn't right. So thank you. I'm not going to call him out, but he's up here right now. I see him up here. And at the end of the day, I'm just asking everybody to research this Brandon Belmonte, because he has stolen from untold people. He's a liar. He's a con artist. And the crazy thing about it, he creates this narrative. He creates this movie. And before you know it, you're the star in the movie. You're the star and you don't even know the star. And he starts to place you in the strip of his movie and you don't even know what's going on. And before you know it, your pockets is done or you got a heavy indictment. So I want you guys, thank you so much for being on. You're welcome. And I'm going to bring her back on again, probably later on this week, but because she has been very, very helpful to me. And she's been really, I call her just consoling a lot of the victims, And I really appreciate her because she has given me hope, like I've given her hope. And I just want everybody to really start to look at this con man and see who he is. So thank you so much. And we'll talk in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye. All right, y'all. So I'm going to close out. We're going to be doing this all week. I was going to do a press conference, but my team said, no, just do it on live and just get the ball rolling, get the victims out so you guys can see there are multiple victims. I spoke to 7 myself. Maybe a little more, but I'm just going to be at the minimum. I already spoke to 7 victims of Brandon Belmonte, and the hurt and the pain that the pain that they're going through. And Brandon Belmonte chose the wrong person to do it to, Bishop Whitehead, and now he's going to be exposed. And ironically, as soon as he went on 105, he had did an interview on 105 by using my name. 7 days later, he was federally indicted. And we need to shine a light on him because he's the one who started everything, and this whole debacle in my life. I wasn't being investigated. Everybody keep thinking, no, it was none of that. It was him. He started everything against Bishop Whitehead, and I don't know him. I don't know him. I had just met him, and we don't have no years of friendship. We don't even have months of friendship. I don't know this guy. And he created this narrative to try to take down a successful young black man and also the mayor of New York. And that's just what it is. So now we're going to I'm going to allow the victims. I'm going to allow all of the victims, everybody that wants my platform, that was a victim, and that can show me proof. Everybody that comes on this shows me proof. Okay? Everyone that comes on here shows me proof. Okay? Like she said, they got fake wires, they got fake checks of him saying that he gonna pay them. This guy is a con man. He's a con man. And just to clear this up, what she said was he does have video, and he showed video of, because he had a car rental company, and he would plant recording devices in the cars, in the luxury cars, to get people in trouble. That's what she was saying. So this guy he's terrible. He's terrible. He's a terrible individual. I just want my life back. And like I said, I just want the district attorney to reevaluate my case and understand who brought this to them and give me my life back. That's all I want. I want my life back. I want my life back. I want my life back. That's it. Okay. I don't deserve this, and I want my life back. Period, point blank. And y'all help me get my life back. Y'all share. And all you have to do is Google Brandon Belmonte. That's all you have to do. Google him, see who he is, see what he's done. And he's out there scamming people. And let me tell y'all something. The media has tried to destroy my name. Now give me my name back, because now y'all seeing who created everything. And now you're seeing that he's the real con man, and he has destroyed people's life, including my life. I love you guys with the love of Jesus. I'll be back on. Y'all watch, hit the notification, follow me, so therefore you can get notified when I come back up. I have a few more. I just lost track of my thought. I have a few more victims. They might come on today, they might come on tomorrow, but all week, I will be having different victims come on just like this to tell you their story, so you can hear it from their mouth to your ears, their mouth to your ears. I'm not talking about nothing about my case. My lawyers is dealing with that. However, to talk about the integrity of this man who set me up, I'm going to give my platform to it. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So if you have been a victim that you can show proof of Brandon Belmonte, inbox me. I need proof. I don't need nothing else but proof. I want proof. And then we can have a conversation. You'll directly have a conversation with me. If somebody saying, please call me. No, if this is about him and you have proof, because I've gotten untold inboxes about this man and what he's done to me, and he's tried to destroy me. Okay. If you have any proof, amen, any proof that he has, somebody said they have proof. I have proof. All right. Inbox me. I have proof. Inbox me. Yeah, inbox me, brother. Inbox me. Hold on one second. Yeah, inbox me. And we'll have a conversation. Inbox me your number. I'll give you a call. And we'll have a conversation. But this con man needs to be stopped. All right, y'all. Love y'all so much. This is the season where God is exposing the enemy. Okay. I am.
That's part one. That's part one of him exposing Brandon Belmonte. I'm curious, y'all. Do y'all think that this is going to backfire on him? Or how do you think this is going to go about? I'm really curious in knowing what you guys feel about this. Listen, you guys, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Again, this is part one of the alleged, okay? Alleged. All right. Alleged. Alleged. Alleged expose of Brendan Belmonte. Now, again, by far, do I think that that man is innocent? No, I don't. And I told you guys this from the very beginning. Anyway, I hope you guys subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.